All right, good morning. Happy Friday. It's Friday the 15th of May. And I am eating, so too bad. If you don't like it, don't watch. This is for me more than it is for you. So I started to talk a little bit about loneliness. And loneliness can take on different forms. Like I was mentioning that I was lonely when I was married. Didn't really realize it. Religion was a factor too, because I was active Mormon at the time. And being married was sort of like the baseline of what you do to be acceptable. And so you don't question your feelings sometimes in that kind of a situation when it seems like, divorce is sort of unthinkable in some ways. Another factor is I think that there's sort of general loneliness. Let me put it this way. I'm very hungry for authentic interactions with other people. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this, even though this isn't really an interaction, it's sort of my part of an interaction. Something to put out there to satisfy part of that urge, to be known on a reality basis. The other part of that is to know in a reality basis. It's hard to find those. Sometimes it can happen when I'm paying for something at a store. Like somehow there's something punctures maybe there's a safety in that brief transaction that allows for more than maybe you would even find sometimes even with a friend. Sometimes it's just simple and casual, and sometimes that's being simple and casual is a way that that allows it to happen. I don't know. So I'm hungry for that. And in the absence of that, especially when my time is mine, it definitely can feel like loneliness. But very often, though, when I go out with a sense of adventure, maybe not knowing exactly how things are going to transpire, in that uncertainty, sometimes things sort of fill up that vacuum suddenly. That's happened a few times where it just feels like absolute magic, where things fall into place. Events, supposedly random events fall into place in a way that answers or fits in with the context of other things that are going on in my life, people. Anyway, that's when it really becomes sort of mind-blowing. I love that. But through this experience with Amy, my feeling of loneliness has kind of increased in a way because I let myself fall in love. And it's one of the best things that I've ever done, but it does come with vulnerability. It does come because I guess I allowed myself to sort of form an attachment that I was keeping at bay for various reasons, which I think were illusory, not real. And but one of the neat things is that we did have a pattern of not really having to be there all the time. So it was, check in once or twice a week, maybe not even that. Make plans every few weeks. And so as far as the experience, I actually feel okay, but when I kind of get into that headspace, it is possible to kind of feel a sense of loss, in as much as she's not really actively in my life at this point. My son, on the other hand, Seymour, is kind of a lonely soul, and he really gets tormented if he's by himself. With rare exceptions, he does have the capacity to get really involved in certain